vibe and focus. And I really hope that I will be able to do this whole video in one take so I don't have to edit it, because I do not remember how to edit YouTube videos anymore. And yeah, it's very surreal sitting here in front of this camera. The idea of making another video has been on my mind for a few months, because all of a sudden I have been meeting people and receiving messages from people saying that they really found something special in the videos that I used to post, that it helps them to discover something within themselves and improve their life in some way or another. And those little messages have kind of been like these little seeds that were being planted in my mind. And today felt like the right time to do it, because yeah, hi. The intention for this video, I guess, is to talk, to have a conversation, to almost have this as a diary entry, because I think I have been in denial of the fact that YouTube was a big part of my journey. Something that I did, 10 years ago, started a decade ago, even more probably, that really brought me so much joy and connected me with the community that I didn't have at that point in my real life. So I have a few things that I want to mention. This being the first video in maybe 6 years. A few things I want to mention. A few quite obvious major life updates, one of them being I'm sitting in my very own art studio with the paintings that I've been creating for the past couple of years. And this art studio is actually located inside of a house that I bought a couple of years ago. I bought a house purely from making art, from making my guided journals, from making my card decks that I have been doing for the past 8.5 years. My business is called Dreamwork, you probably know about it. And that has brought so much purpose into my life. Purpose and fun and play and love and abundance, which I feel was just a result of me pursuing my passion and pursuing my love for art and for expressing myself. But actually, before I get into major life updates, let me just quickly kind of explain why I left and why all of a sudden I just disappeared from this platform, stopped making videos without any explanation, and kind of abandoned you. I have pondered this for a long period of time, and I feel like a simple answer to that question is that it just didn't feel nourishing anymore. It didn't feel nourishing anymore for my soul, for my body, for my heart, for my mind. I feel like YouTube was a way for me to connect with that community that were into the same things as I was, as I said before. And once I found it in real life, that fully filled my cup. And I just wanted to step away from technology, because I spend so much time on the screen for even my work, with design. So for me to kind of step away from one more platform felt like a breath of fresh air. Another reason why I left and felt the need to strip myself away from extra apps is a few years ago, I think maybe 3 or 4 years ago, I went through this period in my life where all of a sudden I just realized how much I value my privacy. How much I value my privacy and the freedom I have over my time and what I do with myself and what I put online. And I felt like I was sharing too much of myself. It felt like I was sharing too much, which was around that time is when I started privating all of my videos and privating my personal posts on Instagram, because I just kept thinking, if someone meets me in real life for the first time and asks for my Instagram, I don't want them to like have a predetermined opinion of who I am as a person through what I post online. Even though I feel like I've always been true to myself, to what I share, it all of a sudden felt like too much. Like I was giving too much of myself and I needed to keep it to myself. Another reason is filming videos and then editing them and then sharing them online is such a huge commitment in terms of time and also energy. And more I started choosing to put that time and energy and love and creativity into my art, which fueled me and fulfilled me so much more than videos. That's just the truth. I wanted to be known for my work and for my art, not for myself and how I look and what I say. So why am I making this video? I feel like I'm just honestly, I have such a strong feeling that I want to explain this, that I want to tell you like that it was a really special time in my life. It has passed and it's okay. I'm doing so many special things now. My life is so much more creative than it's ever been, more abundant than it's ever been, and more magical and mystical than it's ever been. And I would love to tell you more about it because it feels right. It feels right to share myself with you now. Though I will have to get back to this because my electrician is on his way. My fan in the bedroom has been broken, so I'm gonna come back to this video in like 20 minutes. Alright, I am back. We just have to accept that the lighting's not the best in my art studio at this time of the day, but this is what we are working with. Okay, so I shared why I left. Let's go through some of my major life updates, because why not? The last time you would have heard from me on this platform was, about 6 years ago. I've been through like 3 romantic relationships since then. I've traveled to many beautiful places. I've learned so much about myself. I've gone through a couple health issues. I've got my little journal here to remind me of all the things I've learned and gone through. I have really been diving into dream work in the past 6 years. And by that I mean connecting with your subconscious mind through your dreams. Because your dreams are a bridge of the subconscious and the conscious mind. And it's been really interesting noticing the recurrent themes in my dreams, especially the unpleasant ones, the tidal wave dreams, so dreams of being chased. And the interesting thing about this is you can either change the way you behave or interpret certain situations in your conscious life, and then it will reflect in your dreams, or you can do it backwards where you take control of your dreams and that changes your conscious waking life. It's truly such a life hack once you master this skill of realizing when you are dreaming and actually working with your subconscious mind directly. For example, for years I've had tidal wave dreams which were quite stressful. In a dream I would realize that I'm by a body of water or by the beach, and all of a sudden I would be like, oh no, I'm by the water. And the dream would react by producing all of these waves, like bigger and bigger and bigger, and I would have to run away from them and like try to climb up buildings and mountains. And it would be this like panicky, anxious feeling so rushed, feeling like I'm just running for my life, for my survival. And these dreams would especially, come into my life during periods of like high stress, which makes sense because it's that same feeling, it's that same feeling of like running away from waves is the feeling that I would feel in real life when I'm processing like deep emotions or rushing or feeling under pressure. So I thought about this and I decided, okay, let's work with this backwards in a sense of let's do dream work and then see how it reflects in the waking life. So I decided to train myself to realize when I'm dreaming, when I have those tidal wave dreams. And instead of running away, I have trained myself to just stand there and breathe. It's that simple. Just slowly Breathe in and breathe out, and take deep breaths in the face of these tidal waves as if I'm completely unbothered by them. And the changes happened quite fast. As soon as I set that intention, the next dream I had, or maybe the next second dream I had, I was able to remember that intention, and I did what I just said. Instead of running away from those waves, I closed my eyes and I just breathed. And what happened is these tidal waves from my dreams, they started sinking to my breath. So I would breathe in and the tidal wave would rise, and I would breathe out and the tidal wave would fade. And it was like magic. I was able to control these waves with my breath and stay calm in this face of something that used to provoke anxiety within me. So after a few dreams where I would just repeat this same process, they just stopped. The tidal wave dreams stopped. What I noticed in my real conscious waking life is that I started processing and sitting with my emotions in a much more peaceful way. If I'm feeling like a strong sense of overwhelm or disappointment or frustration, I would just sit there and allow it to wash over me like a wave and just feel it. Where usually I would avoid feeling things and just run away and distract myself. But just sitting with these emotions, just like me breathing through these waves in my dreams, what has been life-changing. It's like dream therapy. So that's one of the themes that have been very present in my life over the past few years. There's another thing that came up very recently, a few months ago, and it's again to do with dreams, but to do with men. I realized I have recurring dreams about men in authority chasing me or wanting to end me, basically. So that's been another theme that I have been uncovering, which maybe I won't talk about it now because that's a whole another can of worms. Another theme that has been very present in my life is recognizing that shadows and darkness exists, and it's not necessarily evil. Because of the darkness, we're able to see the light. And I feel like it's the denial of darkness and our own shadows is what creates our fear of it. So it's also been an interesting balance of still always looking towards the light and cultivating light in my life and in my body, but just recognizing that darkness is there and it's okay. And I feel like it's that recognition that has dissipated my fear of it. Another thing that has been very present in my life are my current health struggles with mold. I had toxic mold exposure in March because I left my house. I went to Costa Rica for 5 weeks. It was amazing. And where I live in a subtropical climate. So I left my house, didn't get anyone to house sit, so it was just closed in the midst of a rainy season. It was raining for literally those 5 weeks straight. And when I came home, at first, I didn't notice anything different. I keep my house so clean. But I know mold is a thing in my area, and a lot of my friends struggle with it. Like almost everyone I know struggles with mold and some sort of a mold allergy. So I came home, I lived in my house for about a month before I started noticing terrible symptoms. And I mean, like, I basically felt like I was allergic to life, allergic to existence. Terrible fatigue and brain fog and stomach pains and digestion issues and skin issues, terrible itchy eyes, cough, everything you can possibly imagine. And sure enough, when I had my house checked and treated, there was mold in places where you wouldn't be able to see it, like underneath the couch or inside of the bed frame. It's ridiculous. So I had my house treated right away, but my condition became systemic, so the mold actually got inside of my body. So for months I have lived with it in my body and kept always getting flare-ups no matter where I was. I went traveling to Europe, and I hosted my imagination workshops in Europe, which I'll talk about later. But even then, like, no matter which country I went to, this was a couple months ago, I still had my flare-ups. So it was hard. So as soon as I got back to Australia, I started my healing journey, and it's been 2 months. I'd say I'm 90% there, but wow, it has taught me to love my body so much, and instead of being frustrated at it, just love myself through it. And I've been so good to myself. Like, every night I get into bed, I literally hug my body and I say to myself, I'm so proud of you. Thank you so much for carrying me through this life. And I give myself a little kiss. It's been such a beautiful practice, because I feel like usually I would get frustrated at myself for being sick. But this whole experience just made me appreciate my body so much more, and how it communicates with me through symptoms, because if I didn't have those symptoms, I wouldn't realize that I was infested with mold. So that's been huge. And as I mentioned, I was in Europe a couple of months ago. Oh my goodness, this was such a huge growth period for me, to step out of my comfort zone and do my imagination workshops in person, face to face, and they have been so incredible, and I loved being like a host of those experiences so much. I would guide people through guided visualization meditations through their mind garden, heart rose quartz crystal cave, and the soul depicted as the universe. And in each one of those realms, you connect with the subconscious through a series of exercises. So just like I shared with you about my dream about the waves earlier, how in my dreams I would just breathe through this, like, these waves. Those are the similar exercises that I got people to perform when they were in this meditative state. Because when we are in that in-between state, the liminal phase in between dreams and reality, it's almost like, yeah, light hypnosis. That's when we can really connect with the subconscious and figure out our limiting beliefs and start working through them and heal certain parts of ourselves. And it's been my passion. I'm currently finishing my hypnotherapy course, so I'm very, very excited to continue doing that kind of work. And at my workshops, we also did art exercises, so art manifestation and expressing your emotions and releasing through art, which was so beautiful. So much fun. I'm actually flying to Portugal in a few days, and I will be hosting a women's full moon circle on the 21st of September. If I post this video before then if you're able to, I would love for you to join us. I'll leave the link in the description. And on the 12th of October, I'm doing a huge launch event in Amsterdam, because I just opened a warehouse in Amsterdam to cover my UK and Europe orders for my books and journals. Self-promo is not the point of this video, but I'll just quickly share with you what I've been making, because I feel like some people might not know. I've self-published a couple tarot decks. I've made so many beautiful journals. The Year of Growth book for next year, which is a diary full of astrology and self-reflection prompts and intention setting and moon journaling. It's so beautiful. And another one, my Pride and Joy, my Aphrodite's journal, which is a unique self-love journal that will help you to open your heart and romanticize your life, and it's very inspired by the archetype of Aphrodite, who has been very present in my life as well. Yeah, it's been one very creative year. I feel like I've really been getting out of my comfort zone and pushing past my boundaries and making these paintings. Oh my god, what a dream to like be able to paint now. So much of my work is online, on screen still. So doing this for fun in my free time has been so healing. Okay, this is a really cool concept that I've been feeling lately. I feel like there's this energetical, mystical river that flows alongside of your life. And it's almost like this pool, and it's that energy channel that really takes you where you want to go. But being in that river means letting go of so much, means really stepping into it, into that fearless, trusting state. And here's something I wrote a bit about it. There is a mystical river that flows alongside the river of my life. Every now and then I dip my finger in or a toe. It's mystery, awe, magic, wonder, adventure, and it feels terrifyingly beautiful and devastatingly right. I can feel when this river calls to me, but I don't always answer. And the more and more I wait, the more it tugs me, the more it pulls me. It wants to envelop me and swallow me whole and take me to places I've never even dreamed of going. The river is wiser than time, but to jump in it means to leave your old comforts behind. It begs for your open heart and undivided attention, your bare body with nothing in your pockets. This year feels like the year I take a swim in it. It gives me goosebumps thinking about it. It's all I ever feared and all I ever wanted, to be in this river that can take me home, really home. Here's another little passage I want to share about the wild woman within us all, and this one is about mine. That was from the 1st of March of this year. I have a restless mind. My inner wild woman is looking through my eyes. She wants to go far away. She wants to dance and get lost and kiss and lie on the moss naked. She wants to cry and devour lovers and swallow salt water and burn in fire. She wants to fly and fall and soar and fall and fall and fall, and she loves it. And as much as she hates to admit it, in this mud and in the clouds, she is searching for her love, nostalgic for the one only her soul knows. That was a bit personal. I've been experiencing really interesting things. For example, like right before I go to sleep, right before I wake up, or even in the middle of the night when I'm in between dreams, I literally get images and messages like downloaded into my mind. It's very interesting. That's where I get a lot of my painting ideas from, actually. I've also been meditating way more than usual this year. I've been really into tea ceremonies. It's very popular in my area. It's an ancient Japanese practice where people sit and there's a tea server and he pours tea, or she pours tea, and there's a full ritual around it, and people are sitting in silence and sipping the tea. I just get into the deepest meditations when I do that practice, and it takes me about 15 or 20 minutes to get into that state. But initially, whenever I go to these tea ceremonies, I get quite bored. So I'm sitting there feeling bored for the first 20 minutes, and then something shifts in my mind and I can fully, truly relax, and I start seeing colors. So that would be me entering another phase. Was the gamma phase or the delta? I need to double check. And that's when my meditations really turn visual, when I'm in that phase of clearly some sort of frequency shifts, and I start seeing these colors moving and just changing and shifting, and I can really drop in. And also in that state, I've been receiving a lot of messages and kind of revelations. One of those messages, this was the In Between Dreams message that I received on the 9th of July. Literally in the middle of the night, woke up, and then I went back to sleep 2 seconds later. But in that state, when I was awake for those 2 seconds, a message just went into my brain. And this was the message: in between every breath and every thought, there is a space of what you were and what you will become. So sometimes I get these things that I'm it takes me time to interpret them, but I feel this one means that at any single point in time, there's a chance for you to reinvent yourself. 11th of July. Some nights in that haze between dreams, colors, words and shapes wander into my mind. They feel like curious spirits dancing for my attention, begging to be seen. When leaving the warmth of my sheets feels like a crime, I tuck those images away in a folder in the depths of my mind, sealed with the promise of my return. In the morning, right before I open my eyes, I remember those words and colors in an instant, as if they were birds finally released from their cage. I thank those ideas for trusting me to welcome them again. I thank myself for not forgetting. And then I paint all I've seen and heard. The more I exist, and the more I travel, and the more people I meet, and the more paintings I paint, and the more books I create, I feel like my love and my heart expands and expands and expands. And I have moments throughout my life and throughout my days where I feel like I don't know where to put it. And in those moments I just sit with my hands turned up to the universe and I just dissolve into love. And this little poem, which might be the last one for now, was inspired by that state of pure love. The lighting is coming back. I offer myself to you in full surrender, and I trust whatever you do to me will be for my greatest good. You can have all of me, my hands and my eyes, for to dissolve into this world in the name of love and gift is the greatest honour. May the river return me to the eternal, to the infinity, from which I came from, for which I long for. I offer myself to you, hands open, head bowed. I'm no longer here. I'm everything now, everywhere, and you can have all of me. Every moment of my life, every breath I take is such an opportunity for growth and for appreciation, for gratitude, and I'm eternally grateful. So thank you for being here, thank you for watching. Not sure if this was interesting, maybe, but I felt like I wanted to share where I'm at, why I left, what my life is like now. My next big learning experience will be next month when I will go to the Himalayas to study yoga teacher training, which I'm very excited about. I've been dreaming of the Himalayas for many years, so to finally be in their presence will feel very surreal. Don't know if I'll be making any videos anymore. It felt right in this moment, don't know if it will again. But I hope this was interesting, hope this was entertaining. Thank you again. Whoever you are, whoever is watching, I'm sending so much love from my heart to yours. And yeah, you can find me on my social media. It's all going to be in the description. And have a blessed life.